Hello, goodbye, and hello again. Welcome back to Drifter Carbon and to another Minecraft texture pack review. What's that? Great Calamity Kittens! It's the 250 subscriber special! It's also the 50th review that I've done, so yay! Yay! Thank you all for joining me and thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as possible. And anyway, I did want to thank everybody who's subscribed lately, because I've like doubled my subscribers in the last couple of months, which is a huge deal to me. But today we're having a look at TrueRealism HD by Pathway Studios. I wanted to go ahead and look at a extremely popular pack today, because it's a special episode, you know, so why not cover a special pack? And this is like the second most popular pack or something, as far as texture packs go. And the top most popular pack is also a realism thing, but it's like not actually a texture pack, it's a world. Anyway, but this one has some really cool features that we're gonna look at today. If you've not seen one of these videos before, I show off all the textures in a pack and then I give my final thoughts. But I've also gone in and like redone a lot of the texture pack world to add in things that were missing. So, you know, going forward should be a more complete experience. But the description says, redefine Minecraft with next level HD graphics and never before seen visual features. Unparalleled beauty awaits. Realistic sky, lifelike clouds, and atmospheric fog, waving foliage, block variations, always love to see block variations, and custom mob models for greater realism. Highly detailed, meticulously handcrafted 64x textures. Works in any world. TrueRealism HD by SCT Studios and Pathway Studios. And it was updated for the Spring to Life drop, so that's very recently been updated. It was 990 Minecraft coins, which is about $7. And it was 88.6 megabytes. So not small, certainly. Definitely a large texture pack. But you know, it's not over 100. Some texture packs are crazy huge. All right, well, without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, here we are in the texture pack review world. Just to correct a minor mistake that I made in my introduction, the most popular, or best selling, I should say, texture pack was it's a mashup pack. It's not a regular texture pack and stuff. So anyway, but this one, I could be sure that this one would work in all worlds because it's just a texture pack. But let's start by looking at things that grow. You can see already, like right off the bat, there's variations on the grass texture, which is always nice because, you know, seeing the same kind of grass all the time can get a little boring. So having some you know, different things going on can be nice. Got some clovers and some holes and like grass. So yeah, looking at the things that grow here. I do like the baby trees and stuff, and the grown-up trees in the background here. Nice waving leaves on the trees. Very cool. Here's the mushrooms. Some interesting mushrooms here. Here's the crops. I do like the plants and stuff in this pack because I feel like they've got a good level of detail, and they're all like blowing in the wind slightly, so that's kind of fun. The little tiny baby flowers don't blow in the wind, but that's all right. They're close to the ground. There's the wither rose in the background there. Kind of a fun wither rose. And what's going on with the sunflower? That's kind of weird. It's got like, its leaves are a little funky to where they stick out of the front of the flower, but it's a minor issue. Really nice looking cactus. That's gorgeous. That's one of the better looking cactus we've ever seen, in my opinion. Nice swirly looking chorus plants there. This has been updated recently, so the Pale Garden stuff is custom. Love to see it. Very nice. We will see the creaking later at the end of the mob section. It's like the leaves blow in the wind, but the flowers don't. That's kind of interesting. Giant mushrooms. But yeah, really great plants. Here's logs and planks. You can see there's actually a few different textures for the logs there, for the tree trunks. And some nice variety on the planks as well. It's not every day you see a pack that does something different with different planks. A lot of the time you just get the same pattern, just different color or whatever. Slightly different texture. I'm looking to see, is there variations on this texture? I don't see any differences. I may be wrong, but I don't see any differences on the planks. There may be only one plank texture. Let's look at the sky while we're at it. Nice sun there. Really nice like clouds and skybox. That was one of the selling points of the pack. We will see the nighttime sky later. Here's dirt, sand, gravel, and moss. Some really nice earthy textures here. Cool. Sand, gravel, suspicious sand, suspicious gravel. Can you tell which ones are suspicious? Yeah, I guess it is slightly different. It's easier to tell on the sand than on the gravel, because the gravel is such a busy texture. Here's sandstone, nice carved sandstone there. Here is stone and stuff. I've added some extra signage and stuff around too. But that's the nether blocks. I added those in here because I didn't have them in the pack before. But again, nice detailed textures. For a 64X, this is actually like they're cramming a lot of detail in. Like it goes above 100. There are some with like crazy high resolutions, but this one they're doing a lot with what they've got. Nice to see some variations on the stone as well. There's a few different textures here for stone, so you're not going to get as bored when you're digging in the mines. There's the in stone and the netherite. I mean, not netherite. The netherrack, or one of the nether blocks anyway. Here's the polished stone. Nice. Cobblestones. Nice detailed cobblestone. Bricks. Yeah, I feel like you could definitely do some fun builds with the blocks in this pack. Stone, bricks, blocks, etc. Nice, very detailed, fun designs and stuff. Glass. You can see through the glass. That's always good. But like for something that's just like a non-stained glass, there's a nice level of detail on the glass blocks without it being too distracting. Wool looks appropriately woolly. Concrete powder looks appropriately powdery. Concrete. Terracotta. Oh, wow, dude, check out the glazed terracotta in this pack. That's crazy. Wow, this may be some of my favorite glazed terracotta I've seen too. Really feel like you could do some wild floors with those. Here's the ores. As you can see, you can tell where the ore is. You know, it's easy enough to see the ores. They will stand out when placed against the regular stone. Here's nether ore. Here's deep slate ore. Little difficult maybe to see the coal from a distance, but I think you could still do it. How often are you digging for coal in the deep slate? Here's amethyst. The random lonely magma block, definitely animated. Here's sponges. You can tell the difference between the wet and the dry. It's subtle, but it's noticeable. The light sources. We've got some torches with. It's kind of like you got a double flame there. That's kind of funny. But they are animated. They have like most of them have flames coming off of them. Animated flames. The redstone torch is it's a stone. It's not a fire, which makes sense. Here's the bulbs. Nice bulbs there. Campfire. We have miscellaneous light sources. These are nice. Love those. Do we have variations on the jack-o'-lanterns? We do not. Here's signs. Seeing that it's a little difficult to read some of these signs. But I think most of them are still doable. Like all of those, very readable. All of those, very readable. Just the dark ones are a little more difficult. Hanging signs are very similar. Monster spawner. Here's fences and gates. You got their nice wood textures on the fences and gates there. Same as the planks. Here's the dried kelp block. Diamond, lapis, gold, emerald, and redstone blocks. Do you like those? These may always make for a nice accent block in most texture packs. Here's raw copper, gold, and iron. Are those the same texture? They look very similar. Yeah, those are the same texture. They're just different color. Lodestone. Nice detailed lodestone. The prismarine. Here's the slime block. And the honey. Nice hay bale. Somebody really wants to get a hold of me. Bone block. There's quartz. Not the craziest quartz that we've seen, but there's a couple of nice designs here that could be used for like bathroom tiles or whatever. Copper. Overall, just like very high quality blocks and stuff. Ladder. Here's the doors. Let's look at the doors. They're all custom. I do like these doors, and they're based on the vanilla doors, but they're very high detail and very nicely designed. Like this is very nice. These two, I like these. Wow, so excellent doors. Here's trap doors. You got some with holes in them, some without. So, you know, depending on what you're trying to build, you have options, but those are nice. Here's bookcases, etc. Looks like there's only one bookcase. That's a shame. That's one of the most common things that packs with variations on blocks do, but you know, it's okay. The book looks pretty normal when you have it on a lectern. Open, I mean. The enchanting table. Very nice, detailed, cool looking table there. And I love the look of like the book itself too. Very cool. Here's beds. Looks like there's one bed, but different colors. But you know, for a simplistic bed that's not like different geometry or anything, I think those are nice looking. You don't always have to go crazy with the beds. Here's crafting tables and villager job tables. These look good, and you can tell what they are. They didn't do anything too crazy with any of them. They're easily identifiable. Nice looking crafter back here too. Furnaces, very cool. Here's anvils and grindstones. So, like you can tell which one is damaged, but you might have a little bit too difficult of a time telling how damaged your anvil is. I would say that if they made it a little more obvious, that would be better. They're going for kind of a realistic style with all of this, but I do feel like maybe a little darker lines on the anvil, the damage on the anvil would have been better. Here's cauldrons. Lava and potion. Wow, I'm like my throat's bothering me all of a sudden. Anyway, chests. So you can tell which one is trapped, but you might not notice it immediately, which means that it could still catch your friends off guard if you tried to use it in a trap. Here's barrels. Nice looking barrel there. Do love when I see a good barrel. And I like the in chest as well. Jukebox and note block. Nicely detailed. Little colorful music notes too. That's fun. The beacon, the armor stand, the beacon, the bell, the iron bars. Sound effects didn't change. I did set up some beacons in the background there so you can see what those look like when they're lit up. Nothing too crazy, but you never know. Nice iron bars too. Very cool design there. Let's look at the paintings. I have to zoom out so we can see them all. I do like these. These are quite nice. They're like real paintings. And they've got little frames around them and stuff. Always love when they have that extra little added detail. Looks like Dennis isn't custom, but everything else is custom. This was just added, so, you know. Here's item frames. Rails. Nice. You can definitely tell the difference between the custom rails. This one and this one are similar to each other other than the highlight of the powered part of it. Things in mine carts. Here's what the TNT looks like. I don't have that set up anywhere else, but I don't really need to. Here's a sheep in a mine cart. I've named him Greg. Here's redstone stuff. Added in the actual redstone lines themselves so that you can see what those look like in the texture packs going forward. But nice looking redstone stuff. Pistons. Here's pottery. Ooh. This is another nice feature. I do like the way that the pots look, and their icons on them do actually look like they're like carved into the side of a pot or something, or like stamped. Like when they were making the pot, they you know, shaped it into the shape of the pot. Scaffolding. Here's some nice looking banners. They've got a nice fabric texture to them. Boats. This pack does a good job with wood. Here's tuff. That's a fun pattern for tuff. Some nice carved tuff there. The trial spawner looks pretty cool. Here's the vault. Its eyes light up when it activates, and it's got like particles that get sucked in and stuff too. Here's resin. Fun resin blocks. There's a target. Here's mob heads. The player head looks pretty default, but everything else is custom. There's the dragon egg. Here's some new stuff that I added. I'll go back and look at the aquatic stuff here in a second, but here's dripstones, stalagmites, and stalactites, because that was missing from my world before. You can see what the drips look like. Eventually that will fill up with lava. Here's a lightning rod, a chain, the heavy core, and the conduit. All of those look good. Here is aquatic stuff. So here is like the coral. You can see they've got nice detailed coral here. That's fun. I do like those. I should zoom out a little bit so you can see the signs as we go along. That's the dead coral versions. I think all those look good. So over here we have kelp and seaweed. Seagrasses, you know. And the sea pickle when it's actually in the water. So I've got the sea pickle over by the miscellaneous light sources. but it looks different when it's in the water. We will also hop up here to look at the water itself when it's moving and when it's not moving. Nice animation on those. And there is the lily pads. I won't always remember that these are up here, but that's where the lily pads are. They're also in the frog enclosure. But anyway, so I think the blocks like are fantastic. These are some of the best blocks that I've seen. I think they did an excellent job. Let's set off a firework while I'm thinking about it. Nice particle effects on the firework there. Snowballs. Nothing too crazy with throwing the snowball, but you never know. That's the wind charge. Nice custom animation on the wind charge. Love to see it. Here's what a map looks like. You can see the custom texture around the border there. And the spawn eggs also, I should show off the spawn eggs real quick. Go to nature, go down to spawn mob eggs. This is what all of the mob eggs look like. They're cute. They're little baby mobs hatching out of eggs. I think that's a cute touch. All right, let's jump back. All right, let's look at some armor. There are custom armor here. Nice. I like the look at the chainmail. Looks like the gold and the iron are very similar to each other, just a different color, but the diamond and netherite are very similar to each other. But I mean, netherite is just an upgraded diamond armor anyway, right? So I guess that part makes sense. But there is at least a few different designs here. I'm trying to show off the swords as well. Looks like there are actually a few different guards, pommels and guards and hilts and stuff on the swords. So that's cool. But the blades are very similar to each other. No, I take it back. There are actually differences between the blades too. Here's what the elytra looks like. Nice blue wings. Very detailed shield there. The trident. Kind of funny. The trident almost looks like it wasn't fully stamped out of the mold there. You've got kind of the pointy part and it's surrounded by a square part. But anyway, there's the mace and the bow. Here is armor trims. As always, these are amethyst armor trims on iron armor. It does look like they have custom armor trims. I also gave them all of the rest of the tools so you can see what the tools look like in 3D. Nice, cool looking armor trims. Look well on the armor. And I do like the look of the tools. They're not the craziest, most fantasy tools I've ever seen, but they don't have to be. But cool designs there. Items, starting with weapons and tools. Here's the 2D version of all of these. So you can see what those would look like in your inventory. Various other tools and items and so forth. Oh, we got a broken compass. Broken compass and broken clock. This pack was just updated recently too, so you wouldn't expect that. So I hope that they come and fix that eventually. Let me actually see if that still looks broken when it's in your hand. So compass, we'll just do the regular compass. Swap it out for this for now. Yeah, I would say that's still, well, no, maybe. No, it's broken at certain angles. So, you might struggle a little bit trying to use the compass. I have no idea what's going on there. We've seen several packs do that lately. That's not what you want. But anyway, here's the horns and the horse armors. Almost said goat armors for some reason. That would be funny. Here's potions. Looks like there's only one potion texture. Well, okay, there's the enchanted bottle looks different, but the No, I take it back. There are actually like subtle differences between the different potion types. Okay, that's fine. They're just not dramatically different shapes. But here's the food. I do like the food. It's nice appetizing fruits and veggies there. And music discs. Cool. Here's things in buckets. Nice level of detail on the things in buckets too. Love a good fish in a bucket. Here's minerals. And various miscellaneous other things. There's the chicken eggs. And some of the newer stuff. There's the shulk items. See what those look like. Cool. Okay. Let's go this way and check out the mobs. Here's a couch or a bench. Here's a water cooler. Here's what the nether portal looks like. Ooh. I like that. That's a nice design. Nice little animation there. Always nice when packs do something fun with the nether portal. Look at mobs. So here's the normal chicken, the warm chicken, and the cool chicken. Cool chicken has a spiky hairdo. So that's good. Nice to see a pack that has the different versions of the mobs. There's the bee. Here's the cow. And the pig. And the farm animals are actually working in this pack. There's been a lot of packs lately. There's a Minecraft problem where older texture packs just don't render the farm animals properly. But here's sheep. These are all good so far. The wolf and wolf armor. Doesn't appear to be variations on most of the mobs. The polar bear. Here's the ocelot. And the cat. There's just the baked in vanilla variations. Like the warm and cold animals and the cats and stuff that have different patterns. Those are cute. There's the mushroom. Always funny seeing a realistic cow with mushrooms growing out of its back. There's the bat. Like that. The parrots look cool. Nice to see some very detailed birdies. Very cute. Here's the rabbit. And the llamas. I went ahead and recently added blankets to some of the llamas and added some more llamas just so you can see what the patterning on the different blankets look like. Here's horses and horse armor. Cool. Some very realistic horses. The donkey and the mule. How different did they look from each other? I think they actually do. They have like a different texture to them, so they actually changed up the donkey and mule. They're not just a slight color shift. They actually do look a little bit different. Skeleton horse and zombie horse. Very bony zombie horse. Tropical fish. We'll have to jump in here with them. That's what they look like. Nice and detailed fish. Here's the cod. It's a fun cod as well. Very difficult to see in the water. But, you know, you'd have a hard time seeing underwater too, I guess, in real life. Puffer fish at various phases of puffiness. Cool. Salmon. Yes, I pronounced it wrong on purpose. There you go. Very detailed salmon there. Dolphin. Get in here with him. Cool. Nice realistic mobs. Sea turtle. Love the patterning on its shell and stuff there. Here's the panda. I should probably give the sea turtle some more water. The fox. I do like the fox. It's cute, but it's got like personality. Here's the creeper. Nice creepy creepers. The Enderman we're gonna have to go find. Here's the Enderman. Oh, let me yeah, they didn't change the Enderman too much. I mean, they didn't do anything crazy with them. Let me come back here and shear a sheep. I've been holding these shears for 5 minutes and then I didn't actually shear the sheep. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. That's what the sheep looks like. You can just roam free, sheep. You don't have to be tied up. But that's what the sheep looks like without its wool long. Where were we? Silverfish. Nice spiky, gnarly looking silverfish. These skeletons. Kind of a fun skeleton. Wither skeleton, very similar to the regular skeleton. Here's the stray. The slime. They do have faces. Spider and cave spider. Cool. Nice hairy looking spiders there. The zombie. Now some of the more human looking mobs in this pack look kind of funky. Not a huge fan of like the head shape and stuff on the zombies and the villagers that we'll see later, but you know, what can you do? Here's the bogged, very like gnarly looking bogged there. Pretty crazy. Does look like a skeleton that's been taken over by a fungus. The husk. If you would face over this way, I'm gonna have to go to him, but he'll have turned around right when we got over there. Okay, it looks very similar to the regular zombie. Here's the drowned. Looks like he's got seaweed on him and stuff. Squid and glow squid. Ooh, nice detailed squid and glow squid. Very cool. Here's the witch. At least the witch has, you know, the long nose and even its nose even animates. That's funny. Its nose is moving around a lot more than you would expect a nose to move. Here's the guardian and elder guardian. The nice clear glass makes it easy to see these guys. Cool level of detail on them. Go ahead and spawn a endermite. Endermite comes before the wandering trader. Move those over. That's what the endermite looks like. Hold on. Trying to get a better look at his eye. There you go. That's what they look like. Magma cube does have a unique texture to it. Cool. A lot of packs just don't bother to do anything crazy with the magma cube. Here's the strider. They look kind of fun. Interesting textures on those guys. The zoglin, zombified hoglin. Definitely looks horrific. Hold on, get a better look at its face. The zombie piglin. So if you're looking for a texture pack that kind of tones down the graphic nature of some of the more zombified mobs, this is not it. These definitely keep the spooky level of detail, but that's fine for most people, most use cases. Nice zombie piglins there. Here's the goat. Nothing too crazy with the goats. Here's the axolotl. Trying to get a better look at their faces. They're moving around a little too fast. There you go. Look similar to the vanilla axolotls, just more detailed, more skin texture and stuff. The allay. Kind of a fun allay. Did a different thing with the wings there. The frog. I should really spawn in some more frogs. That's what the frog looks like. You can barely see him under the water there. This is the problem with giving the frogs water, was you have to like get at the right angle to see him. Kind of a funny expression on his face. Spawn in a wandering trader. There you go. Wandering trader doesn't look too weird in this pack. Like he's wearing his head covering, so it kind of changes the shape of his head over the normal villager. The camel. If you're looking for a realistic pack, I think that as far as the mobs and the blocks that we've seen so far go, they've done a good job of being realistic. Here's the blaze. I'm trying to see its face, but there you go. That's what the blaze's face looks like. Here's the ghast. Oh, it's tiny. Why is the ghast so small? What's going on there? It looks like a ghastling. These guys are too new. The dried ghast, happy ghast, and happy ghast with its harness on are too new. But the regular ghast looks tiny in this pack for some reason. Kind of interesting that they went that direction. A shulker. Crazy like shulker box pattern there. That's fun. Here's the Vindicator and Evoker. Yeah, now you're starting to see the choices that were made with the more villager-like mobs here. I don't want to give it too hard of a time. They just look a little funny is all. Here's the villagers, the regular villagers. Not a huge fan of the heads and faces, but I don't know. Anyway, probably my least favorite mob in the pack so far. Here's the zombie villagers. They look like the regular villagers, just zombified. The phantom. The pillager. So I feel like they did an excellent job with the animal type and monstrous type mobs. The ravager. There you go. But you know, there's always artistic choices that have to be made, and you're not always going to have everybody agree with all of your choices. The iron golem. You can tell how damaged the iron golem is. That's good. One of these is slightly damaged and one of these is very damaged, and there's not too much difference between the two. Snow golem, and snow golem with its pumpkin carved off. Here is the sniffer. Cool. Nice detailed texture on the sniffer there. It looks very grassy. Here is the armadillo. They look like armadillos. The warden. Cool. The breeze. Try to get a better look at him from the front. There we go. That's what the breeze looks like. And of course, here is the wither. Ooh, spooky looking wither. It is made of skulls, so appropriately enough. And the creaking. We do have a custom creaking here. That's cool. Yeah, they did some fun little subtle details and stuff with some of the mobs. So I think they did an excellent job with the mobs. Yeah, other than not, you know, having some personal taste issues with some of the more human mobs, I do feel like the rest of the things were very, very nice and very high quality. Here we are in the Nether. That's what it looks like if you stand too long in the Nether portal. Hold on, trying to leave the Nether portal now, please. Thank you. I was turned around the wrong way for some reason. I backed up into the portal or something. Here is the hoglin, regular non-zombified hoglin. Looking around, here is the respawn anchor. When it's powered up, it's got It's similar but different from the. No, I guess it is. It is similar, but slightly different from the Nether portal thing design. Here's the piglins, non-zombified piglins. You can see there are the different kinds of piglin in this pack. Hold on, I was hoping he would turn around this way so we could see him better. He does have a scar over his eye, as he usually does. Look around in the Nether here. I like the way the Nether blocks look together. The dimensions are nice in this pack. Very easy to see in the Nether. They've changed the way that the fog works in this pack, so that's cool. I was looking around for the ghasts so that I had spawned in here, so that I could see them again, just to see if that was a one-off issue with the other thing, but I don't see them now. They're too small. They have disappeared into the woodwork. We'll fly out here and look at this other biome. But I like the way that the Nether looks. And personally, I think it's great when texture packs reduce the amount of fog in the Nether, because it's so hard to find things normally. Here's what the trees and stuff look like in the Nether. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the Stronghold Below template world. But before we do that, I did want to show off the warm variants. This is what the warm pig and the warm cow look like in this texture pack, since I don't have them in the main world there. It does look like there's some mud on the warm pig's belly and feet. Here's the warm cow. That's what they look like. Here's another a village in another biome as well. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to the Stronghold Below. Okay, here we are in the Stronghold Below template world. If you'd like to create one very similar to this one, with a stronghold right about here in this village that you start out in or near, when you're creating a new world, next to where you would input a custom seed, there's a button for templates, and this one is Stronghold Below. You can see the night sky looks great. You can see the contrast of the clouds in the sky even better at night than during the day, and the moon is nice as well. Nice moon rising from behind the clouds there. So let's have a look around, shall we? Here's the cold cow, nice woolly cold cow, and the cold pig, a furry pig. There you go. Pretty much what you'd want from those variants, I suppose. Here's a villager house. I also the lanterns glow as well. They look like they're lit when they're lit. Very cool. Here is a composter. I do like the blowing foliage and stuff. That's a nice touch. We'll fly out this way. Try and see. This is what the cobwebs look like. Do I have weather turned on? I hope I have weather turned on. All right, yeah, I did have it turned off, so that may be affecting how the effects work. I'm not sure. But anyway, here's a ruined portal. I think the ruined portal looks nice in this pack. Fly back over this way. Not really seeing that much, like there's supposed to be fog and stuff, right? Maybe they've toned that down in recent years. Yeah, it did say fog was a thing in the description, but I'm not really seeing much actual fog. I guess there was a little bit of fog maybe it's something to do with my computer settings. I'm not sure. So I apologize if I'm not, if the fog should have shown up and didn't. But anyway, this is the stronghold. I think it looks nice. There's some cracked bricks, and there's some variations and stuff on these things too, which is nice. There's the iron bars again. Here's what a monster spawner looks like with a monster in it. Before we go in there, let's do our usual stuff. There's a bottle, enchanted bottle. That's what the swirlies look like there. Eating a pie is not going to look different. Drinking potion of strength. That's what the swirlies look like on the potion of strength. Goat horn sounds the same. Reloading the crossbow. That's what the swirlies look like coming off of the arrows. I think swords look pretty good in your hand in this pack. And it doesn't look like the torches animate when they're in your hand. We will go ahead and activate this portal. That's what the end portal looks like. Nice and spacey. Cool, cool. Nice. There's fog in the end portal at least. Here we are in the end. Almost fell off into the void. Okay, there's fog here. So there's fog some places. Get a better look at these guys. They do have texture to them. They're just mostly black with bright blue eyes. Fly over here. Look at the end crystal. Cool, cool. Oh, let's look at the UI. Also, it does have custom UI, but nothing too crazy on the item bar there, and the menu looks pretty normal too. So not getting any bonus points for the UI, but at least the item bar looks different from usual. Here's the Ender Dragon. Of course, it flies away as soon as I come to look at it. Typical. Here we go. Okay, yeah, it has a texture to it. Looks scaly. Looks nice and lizard-like, but didn't do too much terribly crazy with the Ender Dragon. All right. So what are my final thoughts on this pack? Well, I think TrueRealism HD is definitely a 5-star pack. The blocks were very detailed and had nice variations. Just overall, like, some of the best blocks that we've seen. Some of the blocks were like the cactus and stuff were definitely the best that I'd seen of those individual blocks. Just great nature overall. Just really a huge fan of the way that all the plants look in this pack. And it's nice that they sway in the wind and stuff. That's always a neat little effect. And the items were identifiable and high quality. The compass and the clock were broken, which was an issue, but I'm going to try not to hold it against the pack too much because that can always be fixed in a future update. And this pack does get updated periodically, so I'm going to assume that it will get fixed at some point, hopefully. But really cute icons and stuff on all the items. Mobs, they had nice textures, nice realistic looking mobs for the most part. And some of them had custom geometry, which is always nice to see. Always going to get some bonus points for that. The humans are a little bit strange, but that's kind of a personal taste thing. Definitely not the strongest point in the pack, but I do feel like everything else was realistic enough in terms of the mobs. The UI is basic, but it gets the job done, and the font is nice and clear as well. I don't always point out the font, but there's a nice clear font. As far as the effects go, I didn't really notice that much fog. I mean, there's kind of a little bit of fog maybe in the distance when things are loading in or whatever, but it wasn't too crazy. Like I had worried that the some of the effects and stuff would be overpowering, but I think it's fine. And the sky and stuff is excellent as well. Great skybox on both day and night. So yeah, I'm definitely giving this a 5-star review. Hopefully this helps you decide whether you wanted to buy it for yourself. I can see why this pack is so popular, why this is one of the most respected packs. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please leave it a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Helps out a lot. And thank you again to everyone for helping me reach 250 subscribers. And this was my 50th review. So here's hoping that the next 50 reviews go even more smoothly. And that there's no major problems. Yes, that would be nice for things to go smoothly. All right. Well, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Thank you. Please like, subscribe, and share. Drift Your Car was filmed in front of an outdoor studio.